All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a project that, on the surface, looks like a simple toolkit for small businesses. But trust me, what's underneath is something way bigger. We're talking about a whole new blueprint for local economies, built on some really deep philosophy and some incredibly clever code. So let's jump right in.
And this right here, this idea is the key to understanding everything else we're about to talk about. See, we're not just talking about another app or some new feature. No, we're talking about building the pipes, the actual foundation for a whole new way of doing commerce. It's a huge shift from just building products to building protocols.
So the big question is, how do you get regular people, small businesses, to adopt a whole new infrastructure? Well, you definitely don't start by talking about infrastructure. No, you start by solving their most immediate, most frustrating problems. You build, essentially, a Trojan horse.
Okay, so for any small business owner out there, this slide probably looks like a lifesaver. I mean, these are the tools that solve those daily headaches, right? Messy orders on WhatsApp, appointments that are no-shows, and maybe worst of all, paying those insane fees to delivery platforms. So IEC comes in and offers all this as a really simple, super attractive entry point. It's an easy yes because it solves a pain you're feeling right now. But here's the thing. Once you're inside the gates, once you're using these tools, you start to realize they're just the shell. The real magic, the real innovation, is the engine running underneath it all. And it's a completely different way of thinking about a really core concept in retail, the discount. All right, and this slide. This shows a really fundamental shift in thinking. On one hand, you have the traditional discount. That's a direct loss, right? You give away 5% of your profit, and that money is just gone. It leaves your business forever. But with the IECC model, that 5% cashback doesn't just vanish. Nope. It gets converted into a credit that can only be spent back inside your local network of businesses. So it's not an expense anymore. It's literally an investment in a future sale. And this chart right here, this just nails down the financial power of that shift. A regular discount that gives you exactly a 0% guarantee that the customer will ever come back. But cashback? That money is locked into your system, which pretty much guarantees it's going to be used again within your network. And the result? You're looking at a potential 200% increase in recurring revenue from those exact same customers. You're not just making a one-off sale, you're actually building a loyal customer base.
Okay, now this is where the math gets really cool. The whole system is designed with two different growth rates. As you can see, the customer's balance grows at 3% daily, which is an awesome incentive for them. But check this out. The system's own cashback fund grows even faster at 7%. So let's fast forward to day 30. The customer has more than doubled their money. That's amazing for them, right? But the system's fund, it's grown to over 190 reais. That's more than 3 times what the customer has. And that difference, that gap, is what creates this incredibly well-capitalized, self-sustaining engine for the entire community. And you know what? This actually has a name. It's called regenerative finance, or refi for short. See, unlike the old systems where value is constantly being pulled out, in a refi model, every single transaction actually strengthens the whole system. And this isn't just some niche idea, it's a huge movement in the Web3 space. There's this massive push to get beyond pure speculation, buying the latest meme coin, and instead create projects that have a real positive impact in the world. Think of it like ESG investing, but for the blockchain. Refi is the answer to that. So you can see, this isn't just some clever financial trick. The technology is actually built on a really deep philosophical foundation. This project isn't just about making money. It's about building resilient, independent, and, sovereign local economies. Let's take a look at the blueprint for that. So the whole architecture really rests on these 3 pillars. First, you've got TechNet, which is just a fancy word for the engineering, the solid, secure, auditable code that makes everything tick. Then you have Oikos, which is the economic model we just talked about, that regenerative math that makes the whole thing sustainable. And finally, there's Pneuma. That's the purpose, the spirit behind it all, the ethical layer that makes sure the system always serves its community. It's a really holistic design. And here is the magic. This is how those big philosophical ideas become totally real. When the manifesto for this project talks about truth, it's not just a metaphor. It is literally this line of code you see here. Every single transaction gets locked into a public ledger, immutably. So trust isn't based on a handshake or someone's promise anymore. It's
It's based on auditable, cryptographic proof that anyone can go and check. The truth is the code. And that creates a foundation of transparency that local businesses have just never had before.
Okay, so a system built on local community and deep philosophy, that's amazing. But for it to really grow, to really scale, it has to speak the language of global capital. And this, right here, is where the final and maybe most brilliant layer of the project is revealed.
I mean, think about it. How do you take these incredible ideas of sovereignty, truth, and regeneration and explain them to a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley or to a big-shot Tier 1 blockchain foundation? How do you get them to see the trillion-dollar vision that's hiding in plain sight? The answer? You translate. You create a Rosetta Stone. And this slide right here, this is the aha moment. What EICC calls sovereignty, the market calls self-sovereign identity, or SSI. That idea of a transparent truth ledger, that's real-world assets, or RWA, which is one of the hottest sectors in all of finance today. And that regenerative liquidity fee? Well, investors call that protocol-owned liquidity, or POL. All of a sudden, this beautiful, local, philosophical project is speaking the exact language of trillion-dollar investment trends.
And you might be asking, who is actually investing in this stuff? Well, the short answer is basically everyone who matters in finance and tech right now. You've got the refi ecosystem with foundations like Celo that are just desperate for projects with real-world impact. You've got the major blockchains, Stellar, Polygon. They have enormous funds set aside to attract exactly this kind of real-world adoption. And the institutional giants, the BlackRock level players, they're pouring billions into anything with that magic acronym, RWA. Real-world assets, because it gives them auditable, transparent access to brand new markets, like an entire city's local economy.
Okay, so you have this grand vision, and you have the alignment with global capital. But how does it actually start? How does this massive idea go from code on a screen to a real, thriving community economy? Well, it starts small, and it grows exponentially. I love this number. It shows that with just 64 local businesses, each one just bringing in one new user to the network every year, the system can generate over $1 million reais in self-owned capital in just 7 years. And that's the key. This isn't outside funding. This is wealth that is generated and owned by the community itself. And the best part is, the path to get there is so clear, so pragmatic, and honestly, refreshingly simple. This isn't some far-off pipe dream. It's a real, actionable plan. You build a minimal prototype, you test it with one real business, you get that real-world feedback, you adjust the model, and then, and only then, you start to scale the network. It's completely grounded in reality.
So we'll leave you with this thought. We usually think of a purchase as just the end of the line, a simple transaction. But what if it was the beginning? What if that simple act of buying a coffee or getting a haircut could actually be the seed capital for a more resilient, a more prosperous, and a more sovereign economy for your own town, your own city? What would that world look like?